I read a book about misogynistic songs. Let's talk about it.
Boy, that intro is like a brick to the face, dude. Just bam. Right there, kiss. And then you're off.
Yeah.
You know, that's funny, David. I wrote a misogynistic song.
All right, let's hear it.
There once was a girl who was bad.
That's not misogynistic. You're not like saying all girls are bad. You're just saying there's a bad girl, dude. I'd argue it's more misogynistic to say a girl couldn't
That
be
girl's
bad,
name was a standard example. I don't know. I didn't say it was a good song about misogyny and
All
women.
right, that's fair. That's fair.
But this is a weird week. I guess I thought, like, what's the thing that would be most awkward for the three of us to record ourselves and talk about on the internet? And so I came up with
Well, you already
feminism.
did your solo episode on Israel. So.
Well, that was awkward. Yeah. All right. Well, so here's the book. Under my thumb. This week, I was basically this guy. Can you guys hear it?
I can.
All right.
I voted for Donald Trump. I voted for Trump because I thought he'd create a better America for everyone. But after reading 800 or so pages on queer feminist theory, I realize now just how much I've been duped. You gotta understand, I come from a small... I like Trump because I thought he tells it like it is. But you know who really tells it like it is? Judith Butler. Gender is not to culture as sex is to nature. Gender is also the discursive, cultural means by which sex nature, or a natural sex, is produced and established as predecursive prior to culture, a politically neutral surface on which culture acts. If I had just known that back in November, I would have never voted for Trump. God, how could I have been so stupid?
Okay. I'm sorry. So beautiful.
It's so good to see representation from our audience in the media. This is clearly who we're reaching with this show.
Uh-huh.
We're laying down these facts about discursive queer feminist theory, and people are listening, finally. This very real man.
I mean, it was kind of amazing how... so I don't know if... Did I hold this thing up yet? Okay, yeah. So this is the book I read, Under My Thumb. It's a list of... Or it's a collection of essays by a bunch of feminists, journalists, music critics, basically talking about... Sorry, the subtitle is Songs That Hate Women and the Women Who Love Them. And, yeah, so... That video, I mean, besides just being like classic Onion with like 20 layers of hilarious, it actually talks about two of the like key like things that I learned about this week. That was just kind of funny. So thing number one, intersectionality. Quick quiz. Are you guys familiar with intersectionality? Yes, Danny.
It's like oppression bingo or whatever, where if you're oppressed on more than one axis, you get extra oppression. So, like, if you're gay, you're oppressed, and if you're black, you're oppressed. But if you're gay and black, boy, you're, like, oppressed squared, dude.
Yes. Ding, ding, ding. Okay, I should stop eating during my fucking episode. Sorry. It's basically this, this point that's, like, kind of just, like, totally obvious in a way, right? Just like that, okay, people who are black women are mistreated in the ways that black people are mistreated. They're mistreated in the ways that women are mistreated. And they get all new little, like, custom and specific ways of being mistreated. And now I'm choking on the food that I shouldn't have been eating during my segment.
Triscuits. Can't breathe Triscuits. Now we know.
Now we know. Another thing I learned this week. Right. So, yeah, this like idea of intersectionality seems like fairly obvious. Apparently, like legally, this was not supported by results in court. So, like, there's an example of there were laws back in the 60s, anti-discrimination laws made it illegal to discriminate by race or by gender in hiring. But when there was a class action lawsuit by black women against a major employer, they lost because the employer didn't discriminate against women and they didn't discriminate against black people, like statistically, even though they discriminated very badly against black women.
This is why people hate lawyers so much, man. The idea that you could win that case is absolute absurdity.
Right. I mean, it's kind of like you do a bunch of like racist shit against black people, but you're like, but see, I have some like acceptable number of black friends.
A statistically acceptable number of black male friends.
The other thing that was mentioned in that Onion video is Judith Butler and what she's talking about, not just being a cultural extension of a basic biological reality of sex, but rather something that feeds back into our ideas about sex, more like sets are categories. So, male and female, big gender cultural concepts, and often in culture seen as the two options, the mutually exclusive options, when biologically there's more going on than that. And of course, culturally now there's way more than that going on culturally, and there's lots more going on than that biologically as well. So those are two things that I had mentioned in that Onion article, or in that little Onion video that also came up in this book. So, yeah. Let me talk about this book. So the title of the book is Under My Thumb. I'm sure you guys know the song by the Rolling Stones. It's a great example of songs that this book gives many examples of, that the authors themselves like these songs. Under My Thumb is a certified banger by the Rolling Stones, but its message sucks pretty bad. I'm kind of wondering.
Mick Jagger made not the most feminist song. I don't believe it.
The Rolling Stones also has a notorious pedophile in their ranks.
Wait, which one?
The bassist, I believe, married a 14-year-old when he was 47 or something, or started dating her at least.
See, they didn't even mention that in here. They had a thing about rock and roll, and you don't have to work very hard to come up with misogynistic examples and stories.
Yeah. Scratch a rock star from that era, a pedophile bleeds, right?
Yeah. It's true. So, okay, so you can't have consenting sex with a 14-year-old, right? Like, especially if you're nigh on 50. But, I would posit that you can't date a 14-year-old. Whatever you're doing isn't dating. That's...
Right, it would be grooming, right? That's what
I guess it would just be grooming. We have a term for this.
Yeah.
You guys have any good examples of, misogynistic songs that you like?
Well, I guess
because your
example came with the book. But I would, if you were hard pressed to think, my guess is that if you were pressed to think of a misogynist song, I would have thought Outkast would be where you went, because, they have a fair number of misogynist song, Roses has a pretty deep undercurrent of misogyny, a bitch ass bitch, a bitch of a bitch.
You a bitch. Yes, it does. Yeah. It does go into that a lot. Right, yeah, that song is very much angry. It's angry at one girl. I hadn't thought about that one. Outkast didn't come up, but I do like Outkast. But I'm not big into...
Not because you like misogyny, but because I know you like Outkast.
Well, if Outkast is misogynistic and he likes Outkast, does he like misogyny?
Yeah, exactly. Well,
it's platonic reasoning, is that right?
So let's going through some of, since Danny's not going to volunteer any,
you haven't given me a pause in here to say anything.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, the only one I can really think of off the top of my head is Every Breath You Take, maybe, because he's stalking that chick. It's not romance,
police.
But
yeah,
honestly, most of the songs I listen to are heavy metal about fantasy novels and military history. So it's misogynistic by the omission of women, I guess. It's, mostly about soldiers and wizards.
Hey,
women can be
that's a misogynistic. Yeah, exactly. That's a misogynistic interpretation. I guess maybe they might be witches, I don't know. It depends on your magical system hierarchy.
Yeah, this is
wizards and warlocks.
This is definitely one thing that comes up a lot when I'm thinking about this, just why it's such an uncomfortable topic. It's almost like a field about flipping your opinion on your head. I mean, there's the stuff that's just so clear cut, Under My Thumb is freaking misogynist. But in this book, sometimes they're talking about how encouraging sexual liberation is in some sense actually a good thing, and it's all right,
yeah, I mean, there's different degrees, right? It's not all Andrew Tate shit, in these songs. There's anti-specific women kind of stuff, and there's anti-women in general, degrading kind of stuff. So there's also just general male toxicity. The example I was thinking for that is the Beatles song Norwegian Wood, which is about John getting disappointed that he can't have sex with someone, so he waits in the bathtub. But it's all kind of centered around his expectations of a sexual encounter that are not exactly pro women, I guess you could say.
I don't know the lyrics to Norwegian Wood.
All right. It's just a little obscure band called the Beatles. It's
Yeah,
not like you really would have ever come across them.
I have heard of them. So, yeah, let me just go down some of the interesting examples and just my observations from this book, which I strongly recommend. Anyone, though I think it had the unintended consequence of turning me on to about 50 misogynistic songs.
The
I was I want to listen to that, hear what the hell they're talking about.
I don't think that's unintended, right? This is misogynistic songs and the women who love them. It is sort of explicit recommendation.
Well, despite the subtitle, I'd say in most of these cases, the authors do not currently like these songs. A lot of these essays that they're very personal, and they talk about their how the author got into this music and that music, got into this scene. When they were a teenager, this spoke to them like this, but then when they became a young adult, it spoke to them like that. And so, yeah, in basically all of these cases, at some point, the author loved these songs. But most of the time, I think more than half of them, they're totally over it now. And of the ones who still like the song, yes, they all compartmentalize, right? They have to, the same way that I do with Under My Thumb. It's like this song is despicable, right? What it's talking about is despicable. It rocks. I like it. Or
here's a somewhat related tangent. This last weekend, Michael Jackson biopic came out. It set box office records. It is the highest grossing opening weekend of any biopic ever.
Highest grossing, probably.
Yeah.
Sounds really
Did
gross.
he have misogynistic songs? I don't know his discography that well.
Did he have misogynistic songs? Yeah, well, Billie Jean, I guess a little bit. That would be the first one I would go to, but I don't know his discography as well as, say, the Beatles or Outkast.
I mean, and in the case of Michael Jackson, and lots of the time they talk about the contents of the songs, but then also when it comes to compartmentalizing, they're separating the art from the artist, right? Some cases you have pedophiles who write these, sensitive masterpieces, right? They actually have a total banger quote that's basically right about just about this. Here it is. If the premise for the usefulness of cathartic art is to contain and transform violence within the art, so as to help us process and challenge the violence of the real world, what does it say about the quality of that art when it's revealed that its makers are doing the very thing their work is supposed to contain or challenge? It says to me that the artist's imagination has failed, and that their art has failed as critique, as fiction, as a political force, as art. So, I
don't know if I necessarily agree with that statement, but I find it thought-provoking.
I mean,
it's a real chin stroker, and we're a real chin strokey podcast.
In general, I mean, all of these people are pretty smart. That was another thing. It's a little bit annoying to read 20 essays in a row, but people who are way more articulate than me.
That's why Rogan is so popular, dude. He's not challenging in the slightest.
Okay, I thought you were saying because he's so smart and articulate. I'm like, what? I learned about all kinds of ways that songs are offensive that I didn't realize before. You know that song, "Ain't Me What You Wanna Do"? Do you know that one?
No. Who's that by?
No, I don't know who it's by. Oh, damn it.
Anyways, I assume there's some sort of horrible story behind this.
No, it's just where they talk about tropes. Basically, they discussed a few interesting tropes. There's one of offloading moral decision making to women. I don't know if whatever. Which, yeah, they gave lots of examples of it. I only remember that one, but it's basically just kind of moral laziness and here, you woman, you make the decision. Oh, I'm so dependent on you to make basic moral decisions.
You're dunking on pure Prairie League.
Exactly. This is a song I actually knew before, so they didn't turn me on to this one.
So what is the idea behind this song, and how does it apply? What decision are they asking Amy to make?
Whether they should be together or not.
Is that a moral question?
I can see why you think you belong to me. I never tried to. Yeah, but I'm not going to read.
Yeah,
it's actually quite a long song just by lyrics.
Don't put me on the
I'm not going
to do too much on this one day.
Okay. But I'll sing it in the tune that I think it has. I can see why you think you belong to me. I never tried to make you think that you see one thing for yourself. And
Nailed it.
I'm going to commit. No, I'll stop.
Nailed it. Okay, so let's see. Another interesting one was the murder ballad genre. Basically, it's like a whole genre of song describing like murdering a girl and like, oh, how beautiful her dead body is, and like whether generally
Did Ed Kemper write these fucking songs, dude? Jesus.
Like generally the girl turned them down.
Do you have any examples of this that are famous or anything? This is crazy. I feel
Twilight, like New Moon, maybe. I don't know. That's a movie.
Plus, like, she turns into a vampire, right? She doesn't, like, I guess he's killing her, but only in a, like, that is not a traditional killing by any means. Right? She's able to walk on top.
Yeah, I mean, like,
be alive forever.
In Twilight, like, Edward Cullen is sort of consumed with bloodlust in addition to attraction for this.
In addition to regular lust.
Okay, yeah, I haven't seen that, but let's see. There's one Where the Wild Roses Grow. Knoxville Girl by Elvis Costello is one that it mentions. There's a whole album.
I believe you.
Of them.
Murder ballads. I don't know. That sounds.
I mean, it doesn't shock me. Well, okay, I guess it shocks me a little bit. I don't know.
It sounds like it shocked you. It's like,
I mean, what the fuck?
That was your reaction.
It's pretty weird.
I think I'm not shocked by this. I think that there is like that like kind of cute aggression. Have you heard of that phenomenon where you're like, oh, this baby's so cute. I just kind of want to like hold it so close to me that I would smash it. Like it's kind of that, but with romantic love directed at partner. It's like I just want to love her so much she fucking dies.
Yeah. Usually it's a drowning. Yeah, let's see. So that was kind of interesting.
And I thought these were just like, songs for family annihilators,
God.
So
yeah, I mean that would be the logical conclusion, I suppose. But I generally think these are not meant to be taken literally. But
probably not in most cases. Yeah. But still, it's like even if they're not meant to be taken literally, like, it's just sort of weird. I don't know. It's just like what's up with it? That's a whole discussion, and this book contains a whole discussion of that's weird. What's up with it? There are many examples of very thoughtful songwriters who are good at reflecting on their own experiences, but just like don't like consistently like women are just like portrayed as empty vessels, sort of, or like maybe there's like 2 or 3 buckets. They're gold diggers, sex objects, or whatever, soul destroyers.
Did you know in the Middle Ages, they actually thought women were empty vessels and that men's sperm contained entire tiny little people that shot into the lady and grew up inside her there?
Who thought that in the Middle Ages?
Scientists, philosophers. Men. I don't know them. Yeah, men, presumably.
Yeah, I wonder if women thought that.
I don't know. Not. I mean, it wasn't like they had extra microscopic insight.
Right. So I would describe that as misogynist.
The Middle Ages? No way.
Yeah. So there was a couple interesting examples that 2 different authors were mentioning songs of this genre. So one is Baby Got Back as basically like not at all misogynistic. Just like that's great. Because it's
celebration.
It's basically a celebration. Like the snotty girls at the beginning who are like, oh my gosh, look at her butt. She looks like a rapper's girlfriend. So it's like the song makes fun of people who are judgmental for people's bodies. And so anyway.
He wrote it in reaction to a Budweiser commercial, actually.
Nice. All my life I have noticed that some, lots of song lyrics are just like gross and offensive, and I guess I never dug deep into Baby Got Back.
I like that. I like to uplift the positive in that. I mean, it is very objectifying as a song. It's not like she's got like a great ass, you're gonna get her freak shit on, and also I respect her as an individual, with her own interests, and maybe she doesn't want my anaconda.
So Another song, which kind of reminds me of like Mambo No. 5, I guess, is just like a list of all the different and diverse girls that he's shagging. Like, again, the author's like, there's definitely a positive way to view this, that he's, he sees all the good in the nerdy girl and the dirty girl.
It has all the positive uplift of the kill count on the side of an A10 warthog.
Beautiful analogy, Phil.
Thank you.
Let's see. One other thing I noticed, like while all these people were talking about their experiences with music, I'm kind of wondering if you guys, how you guys feel about this. They talk about all these different subcultures, right? Like there's like these goth bands, and like I was seeing these bands in these clubs and stuff. Like I guess I just I don't know, maybe I didn't go to enough live music. Maybe I just had poor taste. Maybe just the internet ruined it all. Like, I didn't feel, I mean, like, I'm a musician. Like, I was in a band and I didn't feel this, like, I didn't care about music as much as these people all seem to care about music. Do you guys, like, care about music, or did you really care about music?
No.
I think my musical taste is, like many adults, kind of frozen in a specific time period. Though I do kind of like dip back in and learn new things every once in a while. I've been going through like a Japanese music kind of phase where I'm just going through the charts and learning the theme song to every anime.
So that's a good segue to the Japanese one. This is actually one. This was the one where I actually like the relevant music the most. I don't know if you guys know the Weezer album Pinkerton. Or, I mean, obviously you guys know Weezer. Their second album was called Pinkerton. It was like a flop when it was released, but then later became considered a classic. And I think it's got really nice guitar. It's really nice music. I'm a guitar player, love really nice guitar. And the lyrics are basically like the guy's very sexually repressed. Is that
Weezer? No way.
And he has a bit of an Asian fetish. Anyway,
again, I feel like a casual glance at Weezer would reveal this.
So anyway, the essay was a Japanese woman who was just like, this guy's a fucking creep. That was basically like, yeah, I don't know. Most of the essays were like, and yeah, so now I compartmentalize and like, I still like the song, but like, I don't know. And she's like, fuck this guy. I hate this stuff. I'm not even into that. Okay, so let's see.
All right, so wait, hold on. What I'm really getting from this is what I really want to listen to now is like a banger song that's misandristic, dude. So I can feel what these ladies are feeling a little bit, you know? So if there's any commenters who've got a good recommendation, hit us up.
Definitely.
Pussy Riot, but like, yeah, I'm sure there are many misandrist songs that slap.
This book came out about 10 years ago when Trump had just been elected the first time, and they point out that he's a misogynist, but, you know, they didn't even know half of it. It's like, you know, I'm reading through this and just like, I never like learned about intersectionality or whatever, any of this stuff until I felt like it this week. There's been this backlash against wokeness and against DEI and against women. We've sort of severely backpedaled, and it's kind of interesting that I feel like when we were growing up, it was sort of easy enough to be kind of unaware of like complicity in this system, like for guys like us, the cishet white males. But today, the intentionality is like as like plainly on display. To me, it's shocking. To me, it's more so than it was 15 years ago. Like, for example, Pete Hegseth blocking promotions for Black and female officers in the military. These days, it just seems like it's really out there and not hidden or disguised at all.
Yeah. Wait, dude, we've encountered new heights of sexism, new thoughts, you know, that we never had before. Like Andrew Tate, dude, he said, like, he's so misogynistic, dude, that he says it's gay to have a girlfriend, dude. I feel like I need 800 pages of queer feminist theory to explain that shit to me, dude.
It is a not uncommon refrain in the manosphere. Like, it's like, you see that all the time. Like, this guy's getting mogged by his girlfriends. Like, this woman is, like, so masculine. It's, like, basically gay to be attracted to this woman.
Yeah. So it's gotten even grosser and more obvious and in your face than ever. So that's a bummer. But yeah, go to a bookstore, pick something crazy off the shelves. I definitely recommend this one. And until next time, thanks for watching this episode of the InfoHazard Podcast Show.